Let's talk about these organelles. Come together, forming cells. If you didn't have some of them, you wouldn't have a tell to tell. It starts off with the cell wall, which makes up the outside layer, keeps it stable, maintains shape so that it can remain in place. Now, animals don't have them. That means you, that means me. We just have a membrane so that we can move with ease. Speaking of the membrane, it acts like social security. In with the good and out with the bad so you can live a life of purity. Now turn your cheeks to the current scene. Ribosome doing work like Hercules, spitting proteins out like it's fresh to me, then send them down the earth so perfectly. Was meant ER, like the earth, moving materials from where they were, curving through the cell with no hurry, but don't you worry, cause you could serve. The lysosome breaks it down like it's a hanger around. Proteins and carbs are the same. The enzymes inside find materials to bind and recycle them back in the game. The Golgi apparatus, the Radis and Battis, whose packages actually matter. The fact of the matter is it modifies and distributes materials to cell manufactures power. You got it. ATP is the product, mitochondria is the father. Without it, you would be not. And finally, we have the nucleus, where DNA resides, synthesizes at different sizes, and is the reason you're alive. Decides what you feel and look like on the surface and inside. If you were missing any of these organelles, you would probably die.
We're made of cells, came from other cells. You need a microscope just so you can tell. All organisms are made of these. Bacteria, the animals, and even trees. We're made of cells and came from other cells. You need a microscope just so you can tell. All organisms are made of these. Bacteria, the animals, and even trees.
Let's talk about pros and cons. Better yet, pros and you. Prokaryote and eukaryote, 2 units of life, that's the truth. True. Differences are diverse, including differences in ribosomes. Talking 70S and 80S sizes, that's the truth, says the homies. Prokaryotes are smaller than the others, you can tell, because it doesn't contain mitochondria like its brother cell. DNA floats free in the cytoplasm of the pro, while in the U it is enclosed in a nuclear envelope. Now which are you? I'll tell you, fool. You're an organism. You represent the you. This concludes my verse. Told you about the cells of life. Move on from this verse. Now it's time to keep the mic. Cell size, no lies. If it gets too big, then the cell dies. Surface area to volume, that's a ratio that you gotta use. Bigger surface area you have, the faster organelles have to go. If the cell can't go no faster, then the cell can't grow no more. Cause the bigger cell that you have, the more time it takes for things to defuse. They gotta reach the center in order for the cell to refuel. If the cell doesn't receive the energy that it needs, then the size and surface area should probably decrease.
We're made of cells, came from other cells. You need a microscope just so you can tell. All organisms are made of these. Bacteria, the animals, and even trees. We're made of cells, came from other cells. You need a microscope just so you can tell. All organisms are made of these. Bacteria, the animals, and even trees.
The cell populations within organisms. Let's explore and take a deeper look into the mechanism to get the bigger picture, better visions, clearer missions. Divide and conquer. So just listen, differentiation in various ways, and maybe one day we can see a better change. Them cells, self-explanatory, but I hope you hear my story, and one day join in the glory of knowledge that you obtain somewhere in your brain. Out of your lane, with pain comes gain. Divide and form specific tissue. No, not the kind we use when we gotta go. I choose therapeutic cloning. That sounds like baloney. Well, let me tell you, homie, this thing ain't a phony. I know it sounds corny, but hey, diabetes can be treated if we just believe it. 2 types of stem cells used to get well. That may help when we fail. Gives a story we can tell. From humans, some say the idea sounds putrid, but it won't happen until we see the future. The 2 types of stem cells, embryonic and somatic. Yeah, this beat is automatic. The electric is like static. Continue with no panic. Sinking down like the Titanic. Somatic cells found throughout the body. Yeah, it's like a hobby. Found inside the tissue. Yeah, they're always mobbing. Brain, bone, marrow, blood, and the blood vessels. Skin and the liver. Even skeletal muscles. Adult stem cells can divide indefinitely, continuously. The such is easy to me. Generate a range of cell types, so the cell might reproduce from your body's cell pipes. Organs are the origin, not just found in horriflicks. Bring a body's distortion back to proportion. Pros and cons, get healed at a fine. We get to live at our price. Yeah, that's a life or a life.
We're made of cells, came from other cells. You need a microscope just so you can tell. All organisms are made of these. Bacteria, animals, and even trees. We're made of cells, came from other cells. You need a microscope just so you can tell. All organisms are made of these. Bacteria, animals, and even trees. We're made of cells, came from other cells. You need a microscope just so you can tell. All organisms are made of these. Bacteria, animals, and even trees. We're made of cells, came from other cells. You need a microscope just so you can tell. All organisms are made of these. Bacteria, animals, and even trees.